But keeping in black news, there has been a recent development in the Colin Kaepernick story where he is now still attempting to come back into the NFL to play. And there's, of course, been a lot of debate about, not just from the football standpoint, which is one thing, but also the idea that he slandered, well, I don't know if slander would be the word, but he basically went on attacking against the NFL with a discrimination suit, and they settled, which means that he did receive some compensation in the lawsuit, which was not disclosed, of course, NDAs and everything else. But of course, there's been a debate as to why he would want to go back to the system that he
literally was criticizing.
That he was criticizing and
fighting.
Given that in that time, possession or ownership of teams in the NFL very, 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 very rarely changes hands. So all of the owners and management, well, not the management so much, but at least the owners, are typically the problem of the racism in the NFL, they're all pretty much still there. So, not much has changed from that perspective. So now coming back into the system is interesting. So I don't know what I never understood the point of trying to go back to play for the NFL. Like, I don't know what
I think it's money. I think it's money. I mean, you know what it probably is though? It's probably is that like that internal battle, right? Like, the system's bad, but it's like, this was your dream. Like, as a kid, this was your dream, and you're here. You made it, and you had a good streak, and then now all this had to happen. Just it's like, dang, because like it's probably that internal struggle. Like, it's like I dreamed of being in the NFL, and I made it to the NFL, and I'm not about to just let the system, even though it's horrible. I mean, it's still kind of like selloutish, though.
You know what? He probably wanted to. He probably wanted to be the martyr. He probably wanted to be the NFL's version of like Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody off the top of their head could tell you who the first black NFL player was. Nobody could do it.
Yeah.
But everybody could tell who Jackie Robinson is. But I think that this was his version of trying to be Jackie Robinson, where he changed the system and still was able to still was able to compete. So I think that's what it is. But to me, I don't know, it's still kind of weird. It's almost like like we were just talking about the Kanye and the Grammys thing. Like, it would be crazy to me. It was even crazy to me in general, because to become nominated for the Grammys, you have to submit your things to the Grammys. So
Kanye was peeing on the Grammy, and then submitted. It's like you still, like, you don't know what you want. It's like you want to dismantle the system and fight the system, but there's something deep inside of you. It's still that inner child. Like, we've seen the Kanye doc. He said he practiced his Grammy speech. Like, it's still something in you. Like, he said he was walking to the train station and he practices it. Like, and same thing with Colin Kaepernick. It's like, this is your dream to be in the NFL. And it's like, I think it's something that Kanye and him probably both, it's like, dang, but this is the Grammys, Yeah. Like, you still can't get that idolization out of your head. And it's just like, it sucks, because it's like, I think they both realize too, there's nothing really we could do. There's not going to be like a black version of the Grammys probably ever. There's not going to be an NFL owned by black people where you can do what you want, you can kneel and stuff. It's just, I think they both know that it would probably never happen, unfortunately, which is sad, because it could. But our people are just,
I don't know. It's just weird to me.
It's still weird.
I would be principled. Like,
yeah, because you went so hard. Like, you went so hard against the Grammys. You went so hard against the NFL. You guys die by that.
And it's not just that he went against the NFL. Like, it went to law. Like, it was in court. So to me, it's like, I can't imagine myself hating a system so badly and then trying to run back to it. It's kind of, and multiple times, because like this is not the first time. It's not the first time.
And that's why I wonder if it's like just that, like I said, that inner dream that you like, dang, like I was civilian in the NFL, I got to keep going, and they haven't seen all I could do yet, or if it's money. Because someone said that activism money don't hit the same as those NFL checks.
Yeah, and this, of course, it was disclosed. It wasn't disclosed. It's a sealed file, but supposedly, and what I heard back when it happened is that when he took the deal, supposedly it wasn't for a lot of money. Like, it might have been like $3 million or some like really low sum of money. Like, it definitely wasn't no $90 million settlement or anything like that. So it could be money. I would like to think it wouldn't be. I would like to personally think that it's because he wants to be the martyr of he changed the NFL system and
still able to come back
and then compete and then possibly win a championship. I think that storyline probably sounds good to him, and that's what he's going for. But I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's a little
questionable.
Definitely got to question the motive. Because you could just be a professional social activist. Maybe try to go into politics then and try to, push change for real.
The thing is, it's like if you still want to play football, like I said, it's just probably it sucks because like he probably does still want to play football, and it's like, well, where else could you play pro? Where else could you have that same level of competition? Mm-hmm. You can't, unless Black people were able to make their own NFL. But unfortunately, it would never work. The only way for it to work would be to have a Black person has to buy out the NFL. I don't think we can make our own thing. Cause what's that league they tried to do? Is it still? Do they still play? What was that called?
League? The one that Vince McMahon bought.
The fake NFL.
Yeah, that one got shut down during COVID. I think.
Yeah, it's not coming back. But it's like you see that stuff never really works, and like COVID obviously was a part of it, but it was gonna flop anyway. Yeah. So it was like the only other option would be a Black person has to buy out the NFL. But would that ever happen? Probably not. I mean, the only way it could, I think Kanye said he was trying to buy out the NFL or something. Did you hear about that? Kanye and a couple other people. Kanye, I think, it was Antonio Brown. Him and Kanye are trying to buy out the NFL. You think they could do it?
No.
They don't have enough hard cash to do it.
Not only that,
it's not for sale.
Yeah, it's a private organization. Like, do you think some of the owners or creators, not even the owners, the creators of Microsoft own some of those teams? They're not selling to Kanye.
It's so sad.
And buy out the NFL for what? Why not make your own league? But
we just had that discussion that making your own league probably won't do well. The crazy thing is it could do well though if all Black football players were able to come together and be like, all right, we're going to join Kanye and Antonio Brown's team or their league. Then it would work. Imagine the NFL without all the key Black players. But
it would still work.
What do you mean?
The NFL would still work.
Because all you have is to just recruit a whole round of new kids that want to play.
And their fixation with trying to like divide and conquer and take over all of the things that oppress them is like weird to me.
But what do you think is the solution though? How do you get respected by these systems that do still play you? Like you could admit that a lot of these systems and these programs and these companies are inherently racist. They're not necessarily the owners might not be racist necessarily, but it's just it was built on that. Right,
but why buy the NFL?
Yeah.
Like especially if you can make your own if you can make your own NFL or which clearly failed because even
that's what I was saying that other league.
Like, but not that theirs couldn't be successful, but it's just the weird like harboring over trying to take over.
Yeah, taking over white. The white establishment. Like just let them do them. Eventually, it will fizzle out if your league is popping.
Yeah, like if you had the money to create a league, why would you buy some other league? Why not just make your own?
And why buy something that's already built, that's been built? And like I said, it's been built on racism and been built on whatever. Why not just start from scratch and recruit kids from high schools and colleges,
Yeah, and also the thing is the NFL is its own organization. But within those organizations, each one of those teams is like an independent company, basically.
Oh, so you could buy those teams if they wanted to. Not buy them, but like offer, like, hey, you guys want to come over to this league? We'll pay you this. Or could you... Do a lot of them have contracts with the NFL? Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to take the Detroit Lions and put
some of those contracts are long too, right? Like years.
Yeah.
Like 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah, it might be
50 years.
It might be forever, basically. But yeah, you can't get the Detroit Lions on the Kanye Football League. But you're able to buy the teams. And that was the last time, and that happened a few years ago, where I think Diddy and some other people were trying to buy the Panthers, but they didn't have enough. They weren't able to do so. I don't want to say they didn't have enough money, but
they just weren't. Yeah.
You're talking about billion-dollar organizations. Like you can't just you have to have that cash. And the people that were trying to buy it had that in just their overall net worth, but you would have to give up all your homes,
a lot of money,
your homes, your
cars.
It
can't just be what your company's worth. Like you can't buy a team with what the Yeezy's worth. Like you have to have liquid cash.
Yeah. So bad plan in my opinion, but it's just confusing to me to try to go back and buy the league or still try to compete in a league that you feel is systemically
they literally
oppressive.
all this literally happened because you put a knee Like let's think about how crazy that is.
Yeah, and that's what you want to run back to. And the reason why they did that. I
mean, we're all hypocrites too, because we still watch football.
I love football.
Yeah, it's so fortunate because I hate supporting the NFL.
Yeah.
That's so sickening. That's really what it all started. Like that's really what it is. He just put a knee and protested.
It wasn't even a protest, which is
it wasn't even a protest. It was just a silent, like, putting a knee. Like, are you kidding? And all this started because of that. Like, that's actually really insane. It's a song. Like, let's relax.
Pledging allegiance too. Like that's
a song about bombing too. Like, do people actually listen to the national anthem?
No.
Rockets, red glare. Like, but now it's Ukraine.
The bombs bursting.
Ukraine, save them. But Kaepernick put a knee about a song that's talking about bombing. Americans are stupid. I can't.
Yeah, pledging allegiance is crazy anyway.
Yeah, we was really in school with our hand on our heart, pledging allegiance to a flag. Like, let's really think about that.
Sick.
And all in monotone. People want to say stuff as a cult, but meanwhile we was all in school like pledge allegiance, like in a monotone, creepy. Like that's so creepy. Now that I think about it, right?
Of the United States of America.
That's so creepy.
And to the republic.
That is so creepy. But people think Sunday service is a cult. Meanwhile, we was all in school like pledge allegiance to the flag.
Your voice was that deep back then?
Yeah, it was. And it was morning time. It was like 6 a.m. Like,
oh, that's a fact.
They had kids pledging at 6 a.m.
Sick. But basically, J. Cole actually came out defending Kaepernick's return. Not necessarily about the system, but he was just saying, because there was the two debates. There was the one about him trying to return to a system that basically destroyed him. And then the football aspect. So J. Cole was responding to the football portion, which is still important.
Like what I was saying about like his dream.
Which we still got to respect. But yeah, J. Cole said... because somebody said that at this point he has no football left in him. Man, he'd been thrown against the wind and ghost DBs for years. For those of you that don't know, DB is defensive back in football, which is a position that defends against the quarterback. So he's basically saying that he's just been thrown to nobody. Like he hasn't played a real game basically. Yeah. Especially at an NFL professional level.
His first game might.
And then J. Cole responded to, and I think this is a random person. And
J. Cole responded to them.
Well, J. Cole. So here, let me get the full context for you. So Rich Eisen is a sports podcast host, sort of announcer, analyst guy. Yeah. No disrespect for me saying it in the way I said it. And he was just basically explaining how crazy it would be that Colin Kaepernick might be on a team. Yeah. J. Cole quoted it, said hello with a target emoji, and then added Pete Carroll, who was the head coach of the Seahawks, then added the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Panthers, the Buccaneers, and Tom Brady. I don't know why he added Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady's not going to say, hey, come try to take over my job. I get it, but Tom Brady he does roll with people. So yeah,
and show support.
So the guy initially responded on Twitter. He responded to J. Cole's quote and said that he doesn't have it left in him. Then J. Cole replied back like, how could you know what he has in him and what he doesn't? And then he quoted again. He said, and respectfully, you're 100% right about throwing against the wind into ghost DBs, but always remember he's been doing that every day for 5 years when the entire world was saying he had zero shot of ever playing again. Have you ever wanted something that bad? So that brings into the debate. Like he might just want to go back just because he's dedicated his whole life.
At the end of the day, like that's what his love was.
And he was good at it.
Yeah, before he any of this. And it is kind of crazy. Like you got to think, he did stand up for what was right, and it's like, and doing that, you did
lose.
Like you put your career on the line for that, and lose your dreams.
Yeah, didn't he?
So it's like a part of me is like, all right, yeah, go back and play. That's still your love, and you still put so much sacrifices. But this is what you really want to do. Like this is what makes you happy. At the end of the day, that's what life's all about. Like you shouldn't have to like not play at the It's not even about the NFL at the end of the day. It's about playing at like the highest level of like sports. Whatever, yeah. Like you're not gonna be able to get that from somewhere else, and like that's not fair that now you have to sit it out because the system behind it is trash. You should still be able to get to play against those teams or play against those people. Like it's still considered a privilege to play against the best of the best. So I think there's a way that he could still feel like he's playing, but not like but still being against the system, if that makes sense. But you know what I wondered of was that's gonna be, oh my god, all eyes are gonna be on him though at his first game when the national anthem starts going off.
Just take the knee again.
You think he's gonna go back to doing the knee?
I think it's weird. A weird requirement.
It's so weird. Like, why you had to stand? Like, you remember when we was at school, like at game stuff, and I used to be like, I remember, like that's when the Kaepernick stuff was happening, right? When we was in college, and I was like, I'm not standing. Like, why do I gotta stand? Like, why did we have to show respect for a flag? Like, I don't get it. Well, like, I get you showing respect to like the people who fight.
That's why.
But why is that a requirement? Why, like, let's think about that. Why are we doing that at games?
Yeah, that's...
What's the association with sports?
Sports and politics.
It's so weird. Why are we doing that at school? Can't you show respect at home? The Olympics, I get that. It's the Olympics. Your country. At a game, a sport.
It's like, yeah, we throwing basketballs around.
Like,
we throwing basketballs and baseballs around. Like, why are we? And then baseball's even
the people fighting for the country.
Bro, baseball's even sicker because they do it in the beginning of the game and then during the seventh inning stretch. You got to get two of them things in there.
It's so weird. We really got to dig deep and be like, why? Like, why? It's this thing.
Yeah, patriotism is racist.
It is.
But anyway, yeah, Colin Kaepernick. You know, good luck. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm rooting for anybody, but you know, hopefully everything works out for all parties involved. I just personally wouldn't do that. It's almost like, never mind. That was a bad example, but
I just my mom tried to call me 2 hours ago. 3 hours ago now.
Yeah.